sorry. Who was it? Who's fessing up to this?
I said collective. It's all of us.
A collective? Must be sick.
Do you have milk in the office? Do you have milk?
Oh, I can get some. Thank you. I appreciate it. That made my week. No, it's a long week.
Coach, we saw Tyke out in the non-contact jersey. Just what are some of the other? We didn't see Bucky, for example. How are some of those guys doing this week?
Bucky will be the same as last week. He'll probably practice towards the end of the week, but he'll have this problem all year long, probably.
Sterling Shepard.
He did not practice today.
The fact that Tyke was in a non-contact jersey, at least out there, that a promising sign for you?
Means he's getting better. I mean, he's got to pass the test. That'll be the most promising sign of it.
Coach, you mentioned it's maybe an all-year thing for Bucky. Is it the kind of thing where you have to manage it, like limit it during the games, do you think? Or?
Well, we limited him during the week so he can play in the games.
But during the games, it's more just a pain thing for him.
On the game, he's fine.
Todd, the offense is flourishing, the defense is struggling. I know you're the head coach of this entire team, but you also oversee one side of the ball. Personally speaking, how frustrating is this for you, what this defense is going through right now?
It's personal as a group. It's not just for me. I'm not trying to do well for myself. I'm trying to do well for the team and win. We're making strides, and we can make 62 good plays and 5 bad plays, and it goes haywire. We got to cut out the bad plays. We understand that. We're working on it daily. If you cut out the bad plays and play the rest of the game, we'll be okay. We just got to cut out the bad ones. So,
Have you been through this kind of thing before, Todd, as a defensive coordinator? How'd you get out of it?
just keep working, keep your head down, making sure they can do things they can do, and cross your T's and dot your I's, and make sure they come around and understand everything, and make sure they're in position, and they got to make plays. So it's a constant process of coaching it better and playing it better.
As we approach the halfway point of the season, how would you assess Baker Mayfield, the numbers he's put up this year?
I mean, the numbers are great, but the turnovers are important. You got to keep the turnovers down and keep the numbers up. You can cut that out. It'll be a great year.
What do you see as causing those turnovers?
That's a little bit of everything. Sometimes it's the route, sometimes it's forcing it, sometimes it's the line, and sometimes at the end of the game you got to throw it. But we can't turn it over, especially on the plus side of the field.
Is he pressing maybe too much, trying to do too much without Mike and Chris?
No, I don't think so. We just got to play better.
You've gone to the dime there in that first drive there. Obviously, it didn't go well. Is it something, or if it didn't work out early, you just put that away for the game, or was that something you'd like to see more?
We'll sprinkle it in here and there. We never got back to it, but I mean, we have packages for it, and we'll get back to it at some point.
How do you talk about miscommunication on some of these defensive plays that have cost you? Like on that particular play when they motioned London over and they create the 2-by-2 look, looks like you had 4 defenders to one side and then 2 defenders to Pitts' side. Ultimately, he caught the ball. Was that one of those defensive runs? Should there have been a safety back there to help?
It was a touchdown, so we don't place blame out in the media. We cover it in the meetings, and we know what happened on the play. It was 2 safeties involved, so we got to clean that part up.
Coach, if the plan was to have Servassier Dennis, used in passing downs and things like that, obviously you can get guys hurt anywhere. Was there never another guy on this roster that could come in and play coverage if in fact he got hurt? That was never baked into the construction of the...
There was not one ready at the time. We've been getting them ready the whole time, but they were not ready when he got hurt, and they were not ready at the time. They can do the things that he can do. So some of the things that he can do changes a lot of things that we can do.
Yeah. And with KJ, listen, he's played every game, but in terms of, we know he's had tackles. He had 10 last week, but they were 7 yards downfield on average. He has a half a sack. He doesn't have a forced fumble. He doesn't have a pass defense. Doesn't have a fumble recovery. Doesn't have an interception. How does a guy that has so little production, that has those areas, continue to be your guy? I mean, where's the production there?
Well, like you said, he had 10 tackles. That's where his production is. We'd like to get that production from everybody on defense. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten it at this time, but we got to keep working at it. And we have packages to tilt people, and probably can single everybody out from a coaching standpoint and player standpoint on defense to do some things better. So it's not just a KJ thing.
If you look at the second half, Sunday, obviously they went much better. Are there things you point to for what was different, why you, I mean, the only points you gave up were on a short field in the second half. What was different that you see there?
We didn't have any bust. We didn't have any bust, and when we don't have any bust, we play well.
Coach, how do you assess Cody Mount through half a season versus how he played last year and now with the additional weight that he got?
I think he's a lot more mature as far as seeing games and stunts and everything, and he understands the game so much more. It's underrated because he just does his job and goes forward, but he holds the point very well. He holds his own very well. For the 1 or 2 plays he may give up every other week, he plays very good football for us, and we like where he's at.
What's kind of been the evolution when you see Patrick Mahomes and you faced him many times when he's a younger player in the Super Bowl and their team changes every year? What have you seen him do different, better, and what does he do to continue to win, which has kind of been the common denominator?
I think he sees the game so much better. Obviously, since he's older, he'll see it a lot better, but he can see stunts at the line. He knows when he can take off. He knows where the line of scrimmage is, where to dump the ball off. He knows what to do to win the game. He's not really looking for stats. He's looking to win the ball game, and that's very rare as a quarterback, and that's a winning formula. And the athletic ability he has is unquestioned anyway with his arm and his legs, but he can see the game. It comes easy to him. So he makes all 11 guys play honest and be on their A game to beat them.
Todd, now that Kalijah Kancey's come back into action, what have you seen from him? How would you assess his return?
I think he's giving us more energy up the middle. We're definitely pushing the pocket in the middle. He can use his hand placement a little better, but he's getting off the ball and he's penetrating for us, and he's giving the guys a chance to make plays.
Now, there's a big day coming up on Tuesday, trade deadline. You have said in the past, if there's a deal that makes sense, you guys will do it, but how much of a need do you have right now to try to upgrade some positions?
Well, we just have to be careful between a need and a want, and that's 2 different things. And if the position is available, depending on what we're asking and what they're asking for, a deal could be made. If not, we'll kind of stand pat and go from there. We don't feel like it's a desperate need, but we feel like if we need anything, if anybody else gets nicked up and there's an opportunity, we'll definitely look at it.
As we talk about a coverage linebacker to sub in like KJ, if it is 4 to 5 weeks since Cervasi got hurt and you don't have somebody in-house that's ready for it, is that part of the hesitation in bringing in somebody from outside, and then it would take a while to get a newcomer to learn the things the way you want them to?
Anybody coming from the outside, it'll be a hesitation factor, but at the same time, as coaches, we got to do different things, and we got to be better at putting people in position where they need to be, and they just have to do their job.
Isn't immune to making mistakes, veteran or a rookie player, but how frustrating is it to see some of the players that have been in your scheme and won Super Bowls with you make some of those coverage busts or errors?
It's frustrating at times, but it's human error, and we gotta settle down. They understand their mistakes, and as soon as we correct beating ourselves, we'll beat other teams.
A couple more. Rakim Jarrett in general, and then what he was able to do, obviously Sunday. Would he have more? I didn't know if he was on a pitch count because he was coming off injury, but would you expect him to get even more opportunity?
Yeah, well, he wasn't on the pitch count, just learning the entire offense as he just came back. That had something to do with it as well. But loved his toughness, loved his competitiveness. He can catch the ball in traffic. Nothing's too big for him. He blocked supremely well, and he just got better and better. And to see him come back after what he went through, I'm proud of the kid.
Do you have any update you can provide on Chris Godwin and how he's doing?
Not at this time. He got surgery. He showed up at the game Sunday and got some treatment, and he's doing as well as he can be. Knowing Chris in his mind, he'll be back as soon as possible.
How proud are you, Todd, of the offensive line week in, week out, and what impact have the 2 new starters made up front?
They made a huge impact. You rarely talk about Bredesen because he's the unsung guy up there, but he came in as a free agent. He put his head down, he worked, and he earned the starting spot, obviously, and, he's been doing a heck of a job. And him and Tristan communicate well, and Graham, you forget he's just a rookie, but he came in and started as a rookie, and he makes very few mistakes up there, especially mentally, and that's what you want. He's always trying to finish his blocks, and he's just getting better and better and kind of like where he's at.
Speaking of the offensive line, Kevin Carberry, Brian Picucci, what have they brought to the table in terms of their coaching? How would you assess how they've done?
I think they've brought a different energy, as far as what they do and how they teach. And Carbs is a tireless worker. Picucci is as well. And those guys, Coochie kid was in the playground, he'd probably take him off and put him to work. So he's one of those guys, but he's a joy to be around. He understands the game very well. He's constantly working, looking for angles. Both of them are constantly working, looking for angles, and they've been a big help. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.